good morning. I'm very glad to call me Adil, guys, not sir, okay? So I'm very glad to be here. My parents would be very proud that I finally made it to an IIM, okay? And so respected teachers and dear students, my why is going to be a bit different, okay? My journey. So I believe that oneself is one's blueprint, okay? It's who you are, what you do, what you've done is what creates you as a person, and the environment that you work in, okay, that builds respect, that builds commitment from people around you, okay, that builds collaboration. You know, your body, like I said, is your first blueprint. You don't become irreplaceable because of your resume, but you become irreplaceable because of what you build yourself into. I am with a large tech company, WNS, as announced. I've been with WNS for 22 years, okay. Professionally, I'm the talent acquisition head of a tech company. And people think that my life is all about resumes, targets, meeting numbers, hiring people by the thousands every year. And that's correct. That's what my job is. But that blueprint actually for me didn't begin in a boardroom or in the office, okay. For me, it began with me as a person, you know, physically, mentally. And I decided the strength, the physical and mental strength of a human being is more important and will take me through to what I want to achieve professionally as well as, you know, personally in my life, okay. Skills can get you hired. I know you're all here, okay, studying at a prestigious college like the IIM Raipur, and your aim is to get hired into, you know, good companies going forward. So which is fine, skills will get you hired. But after you get hired, what next? Okay, it's what you do in the organization, the character that you will build, that will keep you relevant. And to me, character is built privately. It's the struggles that each one has, both professionally as well as in personal life, that is what's going to build character for you. Let me go back to my journey, okay. In the year 2010, when I'm 56 years old today, when I was about 40 years old at that time, a gym opened in the office building, you know, where we had our office in Gurgaon. And that's where I began this journey of physical fitness. The gym owner came to our office and he coerced a few of us, you know, to take memberships, and that's how we joined the gym. And I used to go infrequently. I would go like maybe once a week, twice a week in the beginning. But over time, somehow I realized that this was something that I was getting happy with, you know. And you have to be in a happy space in life. Once you get into a happy space, you'll excel in what you want to do. And for me, that was the happy space. I started going to the gym. I started exercising. I was overweight. I used to joke that if I could have a car, I would drive the car inside my apartment and go from room to room, you know, rather than even walk out of my bed. And all that changed. And over 16 years, I have now done 400 endurance events. And I'll take you through some of them and you'll realize what endurance, you know, is all about. My first run was a half marathon. So all of you, all of us know Bombay. And India's most prestigious run is the Bombay Marathon. You would have heard of the Standard Chartered Marathon earlier in Bombay, and now it's called the Tata Mumbai Marathon. And this was the year 2010. I just told my office guys, you know, I want to apply and run this marathon. They came back and said, you can't. The marathon is some 1 week away. Registration closed some 6 months ago or 4 months ago, and now there is no scope of getting a bib. And they finally said they can get me a bib for a 5K. I said, no, I don't want to start with a 5K. I want to run a full marathon. Luckily, I found a person who was the medical director of the race. He's a good friend of mine. I didn't know he was a medical director of the race. I spoke to him. He said, okay, how much have you run? I said, I don't run. This is my first time. He said, you're stupid. You can't go run a full marathon. You'll, injure yourself or something serious could go wrong. You must run a half marathon. And then he gave me a bib, and that's how I went and ran a half marathon. Half marathon, by the way, guys, for all of you who don't know, is 21.1 kilometers. Okay. Over 16 years, I have done 400 events, including the Ultraman. What's the Ultraman? How many of you have heard of a triathlon? Okay, so a lot of you. It's basically swim, bike, and run. The Ultraman is a 10-kilometer swim, a 425-kilometer bike ride, and an 84-kilometer run. You run a double marathon at the end of it. You get 36 hours to do all this in. I did mine in about 33 hours. Okay, this is something that pushes one beyond the endurance limits that one thinks one has. You see, the human body is hugely capable. It all depends on how much you train, how much of effort you put in. Okay. Now, what's the world's population? I've mentioned the number here. It's 8 billion. Okay. How many people have run a marathon? 0.1% of the world. So these are all numbers you can use Google, you can use any other tool, you will get these numbers. Okay, that means about 830,000 people in the world have run a marathon, less than 0.01%. Okay, and then there is something called the 7 Continents Club. Only 1235 people, I got this figure 2 days ago, only 1235 people have run a marathon in every continent in this world. And by the way, there are 7 continents, we all know that, including Antarctica. Now let me tell you about my Antarctica run. When I was to go to Antarctica, about a week before I was to fly out, I had gone training on my cycle and I had a fall. I broke my hand. Okay, now I had trained for a long time for this run, and these are runs which you can't just go immediately. You know, you have to plan for this. It takes, you have to, the whole logistics to be done. Hardly 50 people a year go, for runs like this. So I said, whatever happens, I must go. I must not lose this moment, And that's what I want to give a message to all of you here, that when you have to do something now, whatever happens, push for it, go for it. You will achieve. There will be success. So I went. I never told anybody I broke my hand, because the organizer is very clear. Antarctica is Antarctica. There's no hospital. It's not a city. You can just go and say, "Mera heart toot gaya, I want to get my hand repaired or something." Nothing of that sort. It's a barren, desolate desert. It's a cold desert, full of snow, full of cold winds, and temperature is in the -degree and all that. So I went there and I just ran. I kept myself, because it's cold, so you're wearing jacket. Nobody could see that I had a brace on my hand for the fracture. And I just ran and I finished the run. I was so happy, and it was a great thing for me. Okay. After that, I've done the 7 world majors. 7 world majors is all the world major marathons. Okay. There's Boston, New York, Chicago in the US. There's London, Berlin, and in Asia, in Europe, there's Tokyo, and then there is Sydney. Okay, and I have a few Rimka records. I've done Ironman races. Have you heard of the Ironman race? Okay, 3.8 kilometer swim, 180 kilometer bike ride, full marathon at the end of it. So these are some of things which I did. Now, why did I first start with telling you what I did? Because you see, the race day is just a moment. It's just that particular day. You go for a race. It may be a race, it may just be a half marathon which you'll run in, say, less than 2 hours. Or it may be an endurance event which will be over 14, 15, 20 hours, 30 hours. Okay. But it's not that one moment that you are living for. It is the training you put in. It is the effort that you put in. The weeks, the years that you have spent in building endurance over time is something that you must realize applies for anything you do in this world. Okay. If it is corporate life, which most of you here aspire to, join and begin. Remember, life is a huge marathon. Okay, it's not just 1 marathon or 2 marathons or 3 marathons. It's a huge marathon. It's a long-term endurance ultra marathon. Okay, and to keep going for that, you will have to realize that the human body is built and designed to do much more than what each of you sitting here can think. So in the morning when I came here, we were a bit early. So some of your students were very kind. They took us around in the buggy, showed us the facilities. And the first thing they showed us for some reason was the gym. I don't know, either they realized I was going to talk about sports and endurance, so they took us to the swimming pool, they took us to the gym, and I was shocked the gym was locked. I was surprised, why would you lock a gym? A gym is a place where you will open a person, where the person is going to go and, he's going to exercise, and then I was told, no, it's open for 3 hours in the morning and some 3 hours in the evening, and I said, where in the world? I mean, gyms are supposed to be 24 hours. You should be able to go anytime you want to go and exercise. And all of us are adults in this room. We know our priorities. No, don't we? We know how much we have to study. We know how much we have to, work out. We know how much we have to play. How much we have to, maybe go sit in the canteen and do gup shop. Okay, we know all that. Nobody should be policing us to say do this or do that. So I would appeal to all of you faculty members here, open the gym, let the students go and enjoy and build endurance in themselves. Okay. Now, people know me for hiring talent and building teams, okay? But the most important thing I think I did was to build my own self. Because when I'm confident, when I've done something which I'm happy doing and happily I've done it, that happiness will radiate. That happiness will go across into my team. So by the way, I have a large team. I'm responsible to hire people across the whole organization. Okay, and there are times when you train, okay, you'll get up something like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you get onto your cycle, you'll go on the highway and you'll cycle for some 5 hours and you will come back. In those 5 hours, you think so much, thoughts come into your mind. So many problems which are there at work. A lot of solutions I have found when I have done my training rides, my training runs, and I call those rides and those runs my me time. And let me give you, all of you, this piece of advice. Me time is very important. All of you must have time for yourselves. You must be able to compartmentalize a certain time of the day where you should be able to sit and think only about something that you believe is going to sort out things for you and make you grow and make you do better in life. Okay? And I didn't, like I've written here, it didn't build in boardrooms, but on roads, tracks, mountains and open water. Why I write open water? I go swimming in the sea. Whenever I get a chance to go to one of our offices like Visakhapatnam or Bombay or something, I do try sometimes and find open water and go and swim there. Okay. Somewhere along the way I decided I would not live an average life. Okay. I would keep setting new horizons, and that decision changed long before, for me, long before my actual race actually began. Okay. Now I want to shift the context to what this means in our organization. So when I started doing this, in 2010, I told you when I started. The first few years, it takes time to build. It's like a small child. It takes time for a child to grow and a child to mature. Okay, same way endurance also. It takes time to build endurance as you go ahead in life. But then people in my office started asking me, how do you manage to do all this as well as work? Okay, how do you, spend time? And my job involves a lot of travel. Okay, I have to get up early in the morning and take a flight and go somewhere. So what will I do? I'll get up even earlier. So if I have an 8 o'clock flight to catch and I have to be at the airport at 6, I'll get up at 4, run for an hour and then go get ready and go to the airport and catch a flight. So I used to do those things, and when I started talking about these things in the office, it became a movement. Okay, it became a movement, and this is how one person can make a movement. Today in my office in WNS, there are more than 10,000 people, okay, who take part in runs, in some sporting activity or the other, just because we allow people to do that. And that's why I said you should open the gym here. You should have people take part in what they want to do. Every year, some 2,000 odd people are first timers, okay, who want to come and start doing it. We have built teams all over locations. We have wins, corporate wins. We have people who've gone and won medals. We even organize something called the WCL. It's very much, modeled on the IPL. There's an auction, there are players, we do trials, we get the cricket league organized. Okay, but let me tell you, the real victory isn't there. On the field, everyone sweats equally. Okay, it's not about winning. It's about participating. It's about taking part. It's about making sure you are there on the ground. Okay, and let me tell you, sport is a great equalizer, a great leveler. Okay, so you can have the CEO of the company batting, and one of you is bowling, and you get him out. Can you imagine getting a CEO out and how happy you would feel about it? That's what happens, And it's the joy that everybody, when they play together, they bring on the field. Okay, and then organizations stop being structures. Okay, they become communities. It's very important. You must understand when corporates have hierarchy. There are senior people, there's middle management, and there are junior people. Okay, when everybody gets together and plays in any game or runs together and all that, there's bonding that happens. That's how communities are built in organizations. Finally, is this the last one? No? Did I skip a slide somewhere? No, it's okay. This is the one. Yeah, human endurance is the ultimate advantage. Now all of you are hearing about things like AI, automation, and these things will always be there. There's always going to be disruption in people's lives. New technologies will come. I mean, when I first began a job, we used to have a computer where there was no hard disk. Today, all the computing power that was there in all the computers put together in all of Delhi is equal to one iPhone in my pocket. Okay, so that's the way technology has grown and advanced. Okay, so roles will change, skills you will keep getting. Okay, but one advantage will never become outdated, and that is what you have built for yourself as an individual. Okay, it could be endurance, it could be any other skill, but remember that if you have that inside you, you will have the ability to struggle and you will still move forward. If you fail, you will still return, because you know that you have it in you to make it to the finish line. Okay, like I've written there, endurance isn't downloaded. Okay, it isn't outsourced, it is built. I can't outsource a marathon run to any of you tomorrow. I should be able to have the ability to go run myself, and for which I would have had to put in the endurance, the training that is required to do that. Okay, and then when the pressure will rise, you will also rise. You may fail, but you will stand up. You will stand up and you will rise, and then you will win. Okay, train so well, like I said about so when your Antarctica moment comes, okay, you don't hope you're ready, you know you are ready. For me, this is the real why. So the topic of the session was why. So this is my why. You know, why I do this is so that I'm always there, I'm always ready. I am not very active on social media, you know, but I am on Twitter, which is X. If any of you are interested, you could follow me. My name is there, Adil Nargolwala. If you guys have your smartphones, you could download Twitter, or if you're already on Twitter, you could just go, or you could if you can scan this, this barcode, I mean this QR code, you will be able to do that.